Hey guys, What If here? Welcome back to NASCAR 2003 for race 5 of 36. We're going to Darlington today, and point battle still rages on. I'm going to try to look at this season as more of just thinking big picture, because I don't think we're going to be just dominating and destroying the field like Thunder Road 2. So we're currently 5th. Ryan Newman's our new point leader after he won at Atlanta. So he's been doing pretty good lately. Point battle still is just kind of fluctuating. It's hard to say who's going to be the one we have to actually watch out for, because all of these people could end up being someone to be concerned with. So we're doing what we can. We're running just top 5, top 10s. We're just managing. Even if they do get point advantages on us, it's like going to be like a minute blow versus a big blow. So we're hanging on. So obviously going to Darlington, we're going with a different paint scheme. Instead of the little Tykes one, it's the Rubbermaid Sharpie 4, which this car has a bit of a significance just because at this track, well, I guess in the fall race of 2001, he actually ran really well at Darlington and he blew up. So it's kind of has a Darlington relevancy to it with that paint scheme. So we're going to see if we can, get him a good run with this, and unlike what he did in real life. So be interesting. Anyways, before we jump into it, thank you to my Tier 2 Patreon people, as well as my YouTube members supporting the channel. Personally get early access videos, as well as channel emotes and stuff for my live stream. Thank you, as always. The list is just ever growing, and it's really means a lot. I never imagined it being this much, so just thank you so very much. I'm running out of alliterations. I'm using a lot of alliteration. I gotta stop. Let's get into it. Let's go. So for car setup with Darlington, pretty much just tire pressure adjustments. So instead of the 25 at default, we put it down to 20. And that's pretty much it. Nothing really else is going to be changing from it. So that's it. Pretty simple. Let's have MRN and friends take it away.
This is Joe Moore along with Barney Hall for MRN, and we're live at Darlington Raceway, the granddaddy of super speedways, in Darlington, South Carolina for the Carolina Dodge Dealers 400. Well, I've heard it all week. The track too tough to tame. What's that all about, Barney?
The tight groove they have here makes this a very difficult racetrack. It takes total concentration, but the drivers all race long to be successful here.
The Alltel Ford hasn't made much of a move in the points so far.
Yeah, those guys have been working so hard this year. It's a shame it doesn't really show in points. Just seems they can't keep that car out of trouble on race day. Maybe their luck will change today.
Jeff Green might not be a household name, but he's had a lot of success recently in stock cars.
But, there's no doubt. He won the Busch Series Championship in 2000 by over 600 points, and he's finished runner-up in that series to a couple of talented guys with the names of Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Kevin Harvick.
Kurt Busch sure has been consistent on these speedways this year.
I watched him in practice, and that car just looks good. Sometimes you can just tell by watching the car on the track who's going to be fast on race day without even looking at the speed charts.
Wonderful intro. No complaints with that. They even mentioned me. They're really kissing my buns for that. So thank you. We'll see if we can have a good card like what they're suggesting here. We got Rusty Wallace, Bobby Hamilton front row. No big championship threats there, so that's a little comforting. But here we go. Okay, Darlington. They're gonna check up here on the start. That's one thing to watch out for. The AI just, I don't know why they do that, but it's a lot of cheap spots. We need every advantage we could possibly get on this game. That's already 10 plus spots. I'm going to try to take it easy in turn 1. They also check up a little bit in turn 3. So we might have to be a little bit off the racing surface for that. But, we're going to do what we can. Sometimes they check up off turn 2, but they didn't do it there. So, yeah. 29 laps, so it's not as long as the Southern 500. So that's just technically less laps we have to, just less laps we have to get up to the front. And already in one lap, we go from 43rd to 33rd. Barely, but 33rd nonetheless. So, yeah. And also, I will say, once again, it's fun to drive here. There's only one weird thing with this track, and it's just mainly turn 1. The car sort of fishtails in the corner. It just kind of bobbles a lot. It's hard to explain, but maybe we'll get through turn 1 again. You can kind of see the car wiggle. It's weird. I can't... It's always been a thing with this track, but it's you just really can't be aggressive in turn 1 as much as you maybe could, with just how the corner is. Just hoping it can kind of show here, but you keep hitting a bunch of bounces and the car just kind of wiggles a lot. You maybe see the AI do a little bit too. That's loose off turn 2. Oh, a little bit of a checkup. Kenseth came to block Skinner, and that slowed Skinner up, so that's free momentum for us, free space. But yeah, turns 3 and 4, they just check up a little bit, so it gets us a little bit of time. But now we're starting to get up through the field a little bit slower, so that dominance at the start is not going to be as prevalent. But man, it is just... Man, I wish these got more views. This game is just so much fun to play. It's just so difficult, but fair for the most part. Vegas is a little bit of an outlier, but most of the time it's pretty fair. And I love the challenge it gives me. And it has for the most part, has a pretty good balance to it. We're just about up in the top half of the field. Field's starting to thin out a little bit, so it's gonna get a little bit probably harder to start making up some spots. As per usual. Thank goodness they check up a little bit in turn 3, so I can get a little bit of time. I'm gonna try to pit early. I'm gonna probably try to pit around lap 13. That's sideways. That's drifting. So yeah, we're gonna try to pit maybe around lap 13. It may not be the most pinnacle of ultimate like undercuts, but it should be a decent enough one to cycle out, at least in better shape. One thing that's still a problem that persists is just the AI get down here are way better than you. It doesn't matter how good you enter down there. It doesn't matter how early or late your entry is. They just get down there really fast. It almost feels like they're speeding, but I think they just go really, really fast, and then they just slow up right at the exact moment. I don't know. It's something insane, but it's something I can't physically do, and I don't know if anyone can physically actually get on the pit road as good as the AI can. So really, we just have to gain as much spots as we can. Also, we have to factor in, too, we might lose spots during the pit cycle. So there's a lot of variables there that are out of my control. It's kind of like what happened at Vegas a little bit. So this first half is so important to just not do that. Not door Jimmy with my side. That was a weird way I hit him, but that was a tunk if I've ever heard it. Damn, that was loud. Now we're in a universe where John Andretti is ahead of Jimmy Johnson. I didn't think that was a sentence I was going to say, but it is indeed happening. In Darlington in general, just the AI just kind of have a hard time just trying to pass each other just because the track's narrow. So if we're going to have like fast cars up at the front in qualifying, stacking up the field, that's going to cause problems. Kind of like what's going on here with Todd Bodine holding up Terry Labonte and a bunch of other cars. So that's also a plus. But whoever's leading's gone. They are just not even in the stratosphere anymore. I don't know if that's Rusty. It's probably Rusty Wallace. Which, hey, good for him. Good for him. You might have a great day. Oh boy, just get through turn 3. Just be off the racing. I guess I can't say it's not the racing surface. It's just not the ideal lane. Because technically Junior Johnson invented running up to the high lane in Darlington because he realized that that was a faster way around. So technically, with the line I'm using is the pre-Junior Johnson line era of sorts. But anyways, after passing Todd Bodine, we're going to have a little bit of clean air. So for once, for the first time in this race, I'm going to at least have a lap to breathe and chill. That did not last very long. It was not even a lap. So we're right there, right up into the top 10. It looks like Bobby Hamilton's just slowing up all these other cars, which is really good for us. We're actually about to crack the top 10, so if we just have a good pit cycle, and all of that goes normally. I'm not even expecting great pit times. Just nail the estimate times at the bare minimum. Then we're going to be looking good for the second half. Newman finally got around him. He's one we have to worry about in points, so love to be ahead of him. As we're going to get by Hamilton here. And that's going to be P5. Great run off turn 4. I don't know what they did there. I guess I just got a really good run. I didn't really see them check up, but that's really good. The inside, it looks like Mike Skinner blew up. But P4, we're 5 seconds back. We're not going to win, but we're going to have another like really, really good, strong finish. And the car is getting loose, so probably a great time to pit. Yep, they're saying they're pitting, so I'm going to do the same. Going to try to stay out of their way so they don't run me over. Keyword is try. As you saw, they just get down there insanely fast, so that's just it's so stupid, man. It's like the one thing I can't control. So I think the estimated time was a 16-second one, which we have to repair the damage. It's just so frustrating to deal with. 17.5. That is just awful. And not only do we have a slow in-lap, but their at-lap speed is even faster, too. Like, I can get out on the track right away, but Tara Labonte is going to probably just drive right by me. Yep. That's just the one thing that is just constant throughout this season mode, really. I won't say career mode. I'm so used to saying that. That is going to bother me, and that does piss me off. I really, really hate the fact that their in and out lap speeds are just so inhumanly fast that I just can't compete, and that's how they get like a big advantage on me, and it's so fucking cheap. And there's no way for me to combat that, so we've already lost time during this pit cycle, and it's not even fully through. So that's fun, and we doored them. Can I do anything right? I just wonder how many spots we're gonna lose. I just got a bad feeling it's gonna be a lot of spots. We were running 4th. We were running fucking 4th before. Are we really about to cycle out in damn near 20th? That is horseshit. That is bullshit. If this is what it's actually going to be like. We got more people pitting. Maybe it's not going to be as bad as I thought, but it's still definitely going to be a net loss of spots. That's the top 10. This will be for 9th. The leader's down pit road, so we might cycle out 8th. So lost 4 spots. So we didn't need to lose more. If we just had a normal pit stop, if Jeff Gordon never ran to me and I had to repair the damage, we'd probably be in decent shape. Which I feel like that's going to be the theme of this entire season, is just always losing time on pit road most of the time, and then just having to struggle to get back that run for the second half. But that's 7th right there, so 2 more and we'll be back into the top 5, so that's all I want. That's like my goal for the rest of the season, just get top 5s, if we can do it. Like, if we're in a top 5 before the second half of the run, then I would like to be... Or if I'm in the top 5 of the first half of the run, I'd like to finish there. I don't want to lose spots, so, yeah, I feel like that's a fair goal, and we're catching marks, so it's doable. Lost over 3 seconds during that pit cycle, though. I'm a little salty about that, though. Be inside a mark for 6th position. I just worry about the tire fall off on the long run, because we did pit a little bit early. I guess we're going to see. From what I saw in practice, it didn't seem to be that bad, so I guess we'll find out. I'm going to try my best to push it, but not go too far where the car is sliding. But, yeah, we're about to crack up into the top 5, and look at that, Jeff Gordon running in 4th place, where I was originally running. If I want to at least finish ahead of him, because that son of a gun damaged my ass, and I did not consent. Also, can I appreciate how much the damage model is just good in this game? It's really nice. I like the fact that when someone does ram into your ass, it looks like it. We twerked a little bit on the wall there, but yeah, still got to be careful in turn 1 because I really can't push it. But yeah, I like the damage model in this game. It's probably my favorite next to like Thunder 04. And I guess NASCAR 5 too. They're all really good with the damage model. Yeah, I can't push anymore. I think this is all the car's gonna get, which is all the more frustrating that I can't get to Jeff Gordon, who violated me. So that's a bit frustrating and annoying. And we're closing 8/10 back, but I don't think it's enough time. I really, at this point in the run, I cannot really push this car anymore. It is just at its limit, and it sucks. I just don't have enough time. Might flag out the leader, and we're still actually closing in on the leader. We gained about 3/10 that lap, so somehow, some way, we still got some pace in, at least enough to close in on the leader. We're just gonna be too little too late to catch Gordon. That is so frustrating. I gotta be a little more careful just entering pit road to make sure I give them room. I really thought I did, but apparently not. But it's going to be another really good, solid point day, 5th place. I don't know what that's going to be like in the point situation again, but we did it. We did solid. We probably could have gotten 3rd had that issue never happened. Rusty Wallace won. Robbie Gordon 2nd. Bobby Hamilton hanged on for 10th. How? That is so unusual. We'll take a look at the finishing results. I think Rusty Wallace just dominated. I think he led every lap almost. Boy, when they win a race, they dominate. There is just no different. There's no debate about it. So he breaks a one year winless drought since his Daytona win in Thunder 02. So good for him. Robbie Gordon, I don't know how he hanged on. I think he was... No, I think he held his own somehow. Like, he wasn't even holding anyone up. He was just second place on his own, 5 seconds back. And then we had Marlin and Gordon just... I guess Marlin was maybe slowing up, but we could have potentially gotten third if we just had a decent pit stop. We didn't have to repair the damage for like 2 seconds. We would have easily gotten third. It's just so frustrating to always lose time on pit road. Even if we never had damage, we had a terrible outlap speed. There's nothing I can do about that. That stuff annoys me so much. It just, man, that's gonna be the whole song of the season. I know it. But we're point racing. That's like the only big picture I can think of. Johnny Benson again, just another. He has still finished better than me. Benson's worst finish is still better than my worst finish at Vegas. Let that sink in. That still has not happened. Well, actually, never mind. It happened at Atlanta where we got 21st. Never mind. I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah. Oh boy. Kansas not good. That's really bad. Tony Stewart's back there. Yeah, we're just got to take a look at the point situation because, again, I think maybe Marlin might be the new point leader now after this one. Next up's Bristol. That's going to be a nightmare. Well, we're 4, still 30-something back. And Marlin is a new point leader, 4 over Ryan Newman, 31 to Jared, 35 to us. We did at least gain a spot. Mark Martin's still 6, Gordon Johnson, Rusty's now 9th, Stewart's 10th, Benson up to 12th. Ricky Ruddrop's back, Harvick's back there. Yeah, we're slowly starting to kind of figure this out. I wouldn't be shocked that Marlin's just the one we have to worry about this season. Which is terrifying because he's pretty good in this game. But so far the points are all pretty close. It's been competitive. We just need to finish a little bit better. If we could just have we don't have to worry about... If we just had normal pit stops or we just minimize that, or when we go down pit road, we just make sure whoever's behind us, we just give them all the room or something just to avoid repairing damage. We got to try to mitigate those problems. At least we rebounded to a 5th. Because, I don't know, it's just... That's like the only thing I can think of that we can improve on is just that. But we're hanging on. So, I don't know. Bristol's up next. We'll see what that is. And, yeah, we'll just wrap things up. Big shout out to my 2-3 Patreon supporters to Dave Arn, Champ 15, Kamikazegames, Bailey Kerr, Mexican Link 1986, and Jason Hellman for the support again. I appreciate what you guys do for my channel every single month. It does mean a lot. Truly goes a long way with everything, so just thank you for everything and all that. I really appreciate it. I'll see you all next episode of Bristol. This is, funny enough, it should be a normal Bristol race. It's not going to be like Thunder 04 where we're going to be guaranteeing a caution. Like, no, this is going to be a straight up, we have to race it out, and it's going to be interesting. So... I don't know what to really expect. I need to do some practice. I know Thunder 02 is a nightmare, but this shouldn't be as bad. But hard to say. I don't know. We'll find out. But for now, that'll do it for me. I will see you all next episode. See you all later. And as always, have a good day, everyone.